Hello there. Welcome to this Polyglot Congress again. My presentation was supposed to be yesterday, but this was our first contact. This was our first live and online polyglot event. And so yesterday I was very busy organizing, rescheduling some people. So today is my presentation. After me, we have our last talk that will be about phonetics with Cesco Reale. So my talk today will be about my favorite book, that is The Little Prince. Yeah, maybe if you have been following me, well, I can see that my glasses are not so nice here, but it's okay. I'll be without my glasses. So I'm going to talk to you about The Little Prince and how you can learn any language just by using this single book. And as you could see on the description, you can also use the Holy Bible for that. The main topic will be using The Little Prince. But if you are not really interested in this nice and great story, you can use the Bible. But why do I suggest that you use either one or the other? In fact, you could use other books. But if you check on internet, on other platforms like Wikipedia, for instance, you are going to discover that, if I'm not wrong, let me know if I'm wrong, but there are 3 books that are on the top books that are translated from many languages. The first book for sure is the Holy Bible. It's translated in absolutely any language. They are trying, as I have been reading, people are translating the Holy Bible for many languages, including very obscure and endangered languages. And so the Holy Bible is really very interesting resource to learn and to practice any language. Forget about the religious things about that. Look at it as a common story. Because what is the Bible? Bible means library. And so in this library you have a lot of books inside of them. If you prefer, look at the Bible as being just stories, it's okay. Because the aim here is to teach you and to make you practice these languages and have access to languages that are usually difficult to find out resources. If you are learning, for instance, Afrikaans or Catalan or Khmer or Lao, language that we have not a lot of available resources, probably you are going to find these 3 books that are, first place, the Holy Bible. Second, I'm not sure if it's still the second, but it used to be Don Quixote de la Mancha from Miguel Cervantes. And the third one is The Little Prince from Antoine Saint-Exupéry. And so each one, you could really read the 3 books. Each one will cover something. But my main topic will be about The Little Prince. And I'm going to talk more about that. Okay, first, what do we need to learn a foreign language? We have to practice and to develop 4 basic skills. What are they? Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Yeah, okay. And how can we get all these things just from one book? Yeah, you can get everything from this single book, from The Little Prince. It's a very easy book to read. It has modern vocabulary. It has useful words. It has a lot of very, very interesting and useful things. I have a large collection of Little Prince. So just by reading it, you are acquiring new vocabulary. Okay, you are training your reading skill. Perfect. Most of the Little Prince books are available also in audiobooks, so you can train your listening. Even if you haven't, or if the book isn't available on audiobook, you can maybe ask a friend of yours, a native speaker, to read it for you, and you can record. Imagine that you are learning my favorite language, that's Catalan, and you cannot find the Little Prince in Catalan. In fact, the audio. In fact, I have found a short audio. It was not the whole book, but you can ask a friend of yours, your iTalki teacher, to read for you out loud during the lesson, and then you can record and listen to it. And so you are going to train your listening skill. Okay, so we have reading, we have speaking, we have listening. Then I would, generally what I do is to tell it out loud. I will summarize the story of the Little Prince and I will transform it into a talk. I will say that this is a story of a small boy who appeared suddenly in the desert, etc., etc., etc. You know the story. I will not get into this small detail now. Then we have the writing part. So you can train your writing just by copying it. It's a good idea to copy. Why not? It's not a very thick book. For instance, this one is in Portuguese. It has 91 pages, which is not that much. You can easily read and copy 91 pages. And if you do this, one page a day, starting by page number 7, day 1, day 2, etc., you will spend no more than 90 days. In other words, you can train your writing skills just by copying the Little Prince. So I'm here just to prove you that you can learn and practice the 4 skills just by using the Little Prince, which is not that difficult, which is not that hard to do. Okay, so I'm going to give you the step by step and say some things that you haven't realized yet. Probably, if you are one of my followers on Facebook, you know that I am the author of Mello method. Mello method is a method based on quick and fast questions about some things, and we force the student to answer it. And so I usually like to say that Mello method is the perfect method to teach anyone a foreign language. But you need a partner, a teacher, a tutor. But usually, if you really want to learn by yourself, probably you have noticed that generally I recommend my favorite collection. Here it is, Assimil. Generally I use Assimil to learn, to improve, to brush up, to do many, many things. What is Assimil method? If I just open it, let me just take a page here. Okay, what we have here on Assimil is a page. On one side, we have it's written in the target language. On the other side, we have the exactly text written in French, on this case. So, we have here as in urbe massilia ambulantes, non loge aportu, Marium invenimus. Salve Marse, clamat ile, quid agis in urbe nostra. Salve, et tu Mari, Roman imus, sed aliquot. Dies massiliae demoramur. Okay, we have here a text. I can read it in Latin. And then I have the translation in French. Here we have a word-by-word translation. Nous promenons de la ville de Marseille, non loin du port, nous trouvons Marius. Salut Marc, s'écrie-t-il, que fais-tu de notre vie? Salut, toi aussi Marius. Nous allons à Rome, mais nous arrêtons quelques jours à Marseille. So we have the exactly translation from one side to the other, okay? So we have it here in the target language, that is the language that you are learning, and on the other side, the language that you already speak or on your target language. So if I just let me take my Little Prince here, I can use, for instance, the Little Prince in Portuguese here. Then I have another one, my favorite language, that is Catalan. And so I have it here, exactly as we have with assimil. So here we are, exactly, okay? Can you see it? We have exactly the same thing. Here we have it in Portuguese, and on the other side we have it in Catalan. It is exactly as I have shown you with assimil. Can you see it? Here we have assimil. One side is Latin, the other side is French. And here, if I just use it in Portuguese or Catalan, here I have everything that I need. So I have it in Portuguese. Uma vez, quando eu tinha 6 anos, vi uma figura magnífica sobre a Floresta Virgem, chamado Histórias Vívidas. Representava uma jiboia engolindo uma fera. Esta é a cópia do desenho. Here we have the text. So we have now in Catalan. Quand tenia 6 anys, una vegada vaig veure un dibuix magnífic en un llibre sobre la selva verge que es deia Històries viscudes. Representava una boa empassant-se una fera. Aquí teniu la còpia del dibuix. Molt bé. So you can see that you have almost the same principle of assimil. So from one side to the other. So it's exactly the same thing. You can use the Little Prince to learn it. But how will you do that? It's very, very easy. As the Little Prince, it's a very easy book to read. Probably you are going to read it, I would say, if you are not very fast to read it, it doesn't matter. You can take, for instance, 2, 3, 4 days, okay? But be sure that you really know the story of the Little Prince. In Brazil, the name of it is O Pequeno Príncipe. So read it a lot. Be sure that you really understand the story. Maybe you can underline words that you are interested to know. How can I say, I don't know, the word for plane? How do I say plane in my target language? So you know it on your mother tongue. So maybe you want to know how to say little boy. So you are going to underline that. Maybe you want to know how to say friend. Maybe you want to know how to say I feel. Maybe you want to know how to say sheep. Maybe I want to know how to say catastrophe. Maybe I want to know, etc. And so you can underline that. It's then, okay, you know the story, so you are relaxed and read it on your mother tongue. Be sure that you really understand the story of the Little Prince. You know what happens. You know who is this small boy that conquered the whole world with this easy story. Okay, you know how to, you understand the story. So what we get here, we have the element of being tense. Sometimes when we are learning a foreign language, we are very tense. Say, I have to. I hate this word. I have to. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to. So sometimes when you have this feeling of I have to, you will not get success. Because when you have to, means that you have the obligation of doing something. I don't have to learn a language. I don't have to understand something. I do it because I love. I learn languages because I love doing that. And so when you read a book, a nice book, you will learn, you will read, you will enjoy the reading process in your target language. Read it. In your mother tongue. So, yes, I'm absolutely sure that you will find The Little Prince in your mother tongue. It's available in more than 300 languages. So, I'm sure that you are watching me, even if you speak Wolof, Zulu, Arabic, Chinese, Mandarin, other languages. The Little Prince is available on your language, on your mother tongue. So read it, enjoy the reading. Then, when you start doing your second part, the second part of the process is to read. You are going to read the text on your target language. Imagine that now you speak English, so you are going to read The Little Prince, and so you are going to learn Catalan. And so you are going to read El Petit Príncipe. So you are going to see that you have exactly the same text. So you are going to read it, and you do not have to understand it, because you already understand it, because you have read it in your mother tongue. If you are Brazilian, you have understood, you have read it in Portuguese. So you are ready to read it in any other language. They say, but if I do not understand a word, you can make the process of deduction. You can deduce. For example, there is a part that's more that's very famous on the book. That in English is "draw me a sheep." Generally, is the first thing when generally a lot of people know that I love The Little Prince. I have more than 60 languages, 60 different languages of The Little Prince. And so generally when a person gives me, or when I buy it, generally I look, I open the book and I go to the second chapter and I say, si us plau, dibuixa'm bé. Okay. Just because I know that, please draw me a sheep, so probably please is si us plau. Si us plau. Si us plau means please. Si us plau. Dibuixa'm, probably draw me. Dibuixa'm a sheep. Debusham un bè. Molt bè. So what I have here is now I know how to say please. Please in Catalan is si us plau. Draw is draw me is dibuixa'm. Dibuixa'm. And the word sheep means un bè. Molt bè. So now I have just learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, literally. I know how to say me is am, maybe. This is not grammar yet. I know how to say a, it's un. I know how to say sheep, that is bè. I know how to say please, that is si us plau. And so, as you can see, just because I know the story, I can, is what I know. If you give me this book in Croatian, for example, I will be able to open the book at the first moment, just because I know the story by heart, really, because I love the story, I can just open the book and go to the second chapter, and I will look at it, that is where say, si us plau, debuixa'm un bè. Debuixa'm un bè. And so probably I'm going to discover, to find out how am I supposed to say that. And I can do the same. This is a bilingual book, for instance, and so I have it in French as well. I will go to the second chapter, and so I have here, s'il vous plaît, dessine-moi un mouton. S'il vous plaît, dessine-moi un mouton. Dessine-moi un mouton. Mouton. So, now I know how to say sheep in Catalan, which is bè. Now I know how to say it in French. This is un mouton. Now, if I take it in Portuguese, I go to the second one. Here we have, por favor, desenhe uma ovelha para mim. This version, there are a lot of versions. So, si us plau, s'il vous plaît, por favor. Now I have 3 words. Si us plau, s'il vous plaît, por favor. This is in Portuguese. Desenha uma ovelha para mim. Desenha-me uma ovelha. All the translations have that. Desenha-me, so dibuixa-me. Draw me. Dessine-moi. Mouton, bè, ovelha. Okay. As you can see, you can easily turn from one language to the other without making efforts. Obviously, I'm not recommending you to learn 3 or 4 languages at the same time. I'm just giving you as an example. I have another one here that is in Latin, is regulus. So I can do the same. Just see, second chapter, if you have just given me, sorry, I know how to read Latin, but my Latin pronunciation is not quite good. So it says here, on the same chapter, quaeso inquit pinge mihi oven. So for the same logical, quaeso, sorry about that, quaeso inquit pinge mihi oven. Quaeso, maybe it's please. Quaeso inquit, we don't have this part, but pinge mihi oven. So pinge, I have to check on the pronunciation of that. Pinge mihi, mihi is me. Oven, oven, oven. As I speak Portuguese, ovelha, oven. Now I know how to say in Latin, ovelha, oven. Great. Okay. Then the man says, and qui dices? Just in the other parts, we have, let me see in Portuguese what it says here. In Portuguese, just o que, what did you say? Here in Latin, you say hen, maybe it's a, and then we have quidi, this is. Now I am learning and I am making this comparison. Exactly, I'm using the same principle that my favorite book does, that is Assimil. It has from one side the text on the target language, in this case it is Latin, on the other side the language that we speak or it's your first language, no. So the same principle of Assimil, you can use it with the Little Prince in different languages. Okay, now you can say, Jimmy, but did you notice that you made some mistakes in your pronunciation? Say, yes. Yeah, I know. For this reason, we have the audiobooks. For French, it's very easy to find. English, Portuguese, Polish, Russian. Maybe you can find these audios in several languages. And so what do you have to do? So first, read the book in your mother tongue. Okay? Read it. Enjoy the story. Underline the words that you would like to know how to say it. Probably you are more interested in one word or in another word. Okay, you can do that. Perfect. Then you have to read it. Try to read it naturally. Try to take the book, the language that you are learning, like Latin. Try to read. Do not be worried about, I'm not understanding everything. Okay, but you know the story. So, as you know the story, you are going to understand it. So, even by a context, you are going to learn a lot of things. You know the story, we have a rose. So, probably you can check it out here and you are going to find the rose. I will not check it out, but rosae, check that. So, rosae. And so, I know that in the story we have a rose. So, by chance I have just found how to say rose in Latin. Almost effortlessly. Just because before starting reading the book in Latin, I read it in my mother tongue. I enjoyed the story. And so now I'm able to read. So, now it's okay. Perfect. The second step should be the listening. I would really recommend you to look for the book and the audiobook. If you don't have it, you can go to some websites and can make a language exchange. As we have Hello Talk, that is it's a very good way to find friends. It's an app available on Android and iOS. We have italki, that is where you can find partners or you can find a teacher, a native speaker, so you can, maybe you are going to pay from 10 or even less, 6, 5, I think 6 is the cheapest one, so 6 until 20 or $24 an hour. And so you can ask your tutor or teacher to read the story out loud for you. So you can record it and you can listen to it. Probably you are not going to have more than 3 hours reading The Little Prince. So it's not going to be that expensive. If, for example, Latin, probably you are not. I haven't found a Latin audiobook for Little Prince. But as I know a lot of people who speaks Latin, we have a lot of friends, including the community, that speaks Latin fluently, like Roberto Salazar. I could ask him to, can you please read for me The Little Prince? And so he will read for me it out loud, and I would listen to it many, many times. And so I will not be anxious. The anxiety, it's a very bad factor when we talk about learning languages. when you try to learn something and you are anxious because you have to, you get stuck. No, I have to understand. No, you don't have to understand anything because you have already understood it. And so, why should you be anxious about that? You know the story. Now you have just to enjoy either reading or listening to it. So, second step, listen to the Little Prince in Regulus many times so that the words will stick into your mind because it will be automatic because you know the story. And maybe you can use the same principle of Asimov. You can listen to it in Latin while you follow it on your mother tongue. You can listen to it and you are going to follow in it. Maybe it's not word by word, but you are going to get the idea on how it works. And so, this is very easy. So, second step was that. Now, as you have noticed, I'm not focusing too much on understanding 100% and not even build a strong vocabulary. But now, after you are feeling comfort about that, you can understand the story either reading it and listen to it. I would say that now, after a couple of time, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks doing this work, it's not too much. Provided that you can just learn a language by using just one book, one cheap book, because nowadays The Little Prince is absolutely copyleft. Last year, the French original language was officially said that is copyleft, so probably you can find a lot of free Little Prince books that are really free, especially the French versions. You can download it for free. That's illegal because Saint-Exupéry has celebrated. Depending on the country where you are, but it doesn't matter. Even if you have to buy it, for example, it's not very expensive to buy it. For example, this one generally I like to keep the price because it has the date. This one I bought it in Catalonia, the Spanish one, and I paid 13 euros. And so it's not that expensive. Even you can order through Amazon.com. It has a lot of languages. And so you can really try. If you have a friend that lives in Singapore, probably you can write him and ask him to write and to find the book in the bookstore and send it to you, and you pay the package, the carriage. And so it's not that difficult. And so you can do that. Okay, I have read it, I understood it, I would say that's a 60, 70, 80%. Okay, now you're ready. There are some words that you really couldn't remember. So now you have to do the flashcards. Do you know what flashcard is? Okay, a flashcard is one of my favorite things. A flashcard is something that you have it written in one language, usually with an example. Here we have ça présente, and here we have an example. Je me présente, Pierre. This is to learn French. On the other side, we have the translation. Sich vorstellen, ich stelle mich vor, Pierre. You can do this. This is a ready-made flashcard. And it's not based on the Little Prince. But you can do it using the same principle. You're going to take a small piece of paper and you're going to write the sentence that you want to memorize. Like this one. Don Vance Jovenet. Don Vance Jovenet. Or on es casa teva. On es casa teva. And then, what is this? And so you can say, where do you come? young boy, maybe I don't have the English translation here. Where is your house? So you can write it, maybe the word above it, as we have seen before. You can say don, where, from, where, literally, on is where, the is the on, say don Vance. We can say it, you can put it on the top, and then the whole sentence, the whole things. Don Vance, Jovenette. And then on the other side, you put the translation. So you can do that with every sentence that you really want to stick in your mind, to really be able to use it. Usually I recommend you work with phrasal verbs in blocks of 10. 10 phrasal verbs, then memorize them from one side to the other. So that you study 10, you say, Don Van Jovenet. What is that? Where do you come, small boy? Okay, so you can do that. Ones casa teva. Where is your house? Okay, you do that. When you have finished doing this, we have a new game. Turn it back. So we have, where is your house? Ooh, how do you say, where is your house in Catalan? On es casa teva. And you check it out. Okay, yes, great. Where do you come from? Where do you come from, young boy? Don Vance Jovenet. Okay. Now, can you see? You are building, you are having a large vocabulary, and not only small words, but you have blocks of words, of sentences that you can, the next time you come across a Catalan speaker, or if you go to Catalonia, especially Barcelona, say, si us plau, Don Vance. You can say the sentence. So you can do many things, as you can see. It's not that difficult. It's very easy and very, I don't know, I would say it's quite affordable for everyone, isn't it? Okay, next step. Okay, we have already read it, so you can read and you can understand. Perfect. Okay, next step. You can listen to it and you can understand. Okay, now the listening part is great. You can do it again because now you know the vocabulary. Because the third step was to learn and to improve your vocabulary. Perfect. Okay? Yeah, great. Now you know the vocabulary, and so you have, if you just have this book, you have a lot of vocabulary. Okay, next part, next step is the speaking part. So now it would be really necessary if you had a native speaker. It doesn't matter if he's a teacher or not. It would be better if it's not a teacher. And you can go to italki.com. There you can find out a teacher, and you just hire the teacher for 1 hour, or I don't know, you can buy a package, and you can say to the teacher, okay, teacher, I have read The Little Prince in this language, and I would like to tell you the story. I will tell you the story, and you are going to point out my mistakes, but please do not stop me every single moment. Let me try to tell it in a row, in a flow. Then you can take notes of my mistakes. Then you can do this and say, okay. The teacher says, oh, great, you did 6% of perfection. Then you can, maybe if you are happy with the results, you can go to the next book. You can move forward. So the basic idea is that, but you say, and can we go beyond this point? Absolutely. How? Okay. As The Little Prince is a very famous book, we have available a lot of DVDs, films, like We have this version that is from Portuguese from Portugal. We have o Príncipezinho. You can learn Portuguese from Brazil, and then you can transform it or increase your vocabulary watching this film. It's not exactly the same story, but you are going to recognize many words, and so you can watch it without subtitles because you are going to understand and recognize many things there. We have this very old production. It's a film. It's a very, I forgot the name of the man, Gene Wilder. It's one of the main characters. I don't know if you can watch it. Yes, it's a fantastic film. So here you have, we can read it. If you are learning Italian and decide to read Il Piccolo Principe, here you are Il Piccolo Principe. So you have a lot of alternatives. So you can, just by using one book, you can go further, and you are doing that almost effortlessly. Because you are reading a very nice story, you are incorporating very nice and interesting things, and now, as you can see, you are putting other things inside of it. You can watch DVDs. This one is O Príncipezinho. This one is a musical. So now you can not only watch the film, but you can listen to musics, and you can improve your listening much more and reinforce your vocabulary so that you can watch it many times. As you can see, if you just have, I don't have it's everything here, but if you are learning Portuguese, for example, we have, you have for sure the audiobook. You have the audiobook, you have the printed book, you have the DVD, you have extra DVDs, and you have a lot of native speakers that we, especially Brazilian people, we really know the Pequeno Príncipe, and a lot of Portuguese people from Portugal, they really love o Príncipezinho. There are a lot of material. When I go to Lisbon, generally I buy a lot of things from o Príncipezinho. And so you can learn it a lot. You can learn a lot of things. It's very interesting. Just one moment here. Let me just check it out. If just a moment. I will go to the next part because I want to tell you a little bit more about some things. Okay, where is it? Okay. I'm not sure yet. I'm letting it to get open to see if you have any questions. But okay, now as I said, the aim was to focus on the Little Prince. You can just do that. As I said, it's not a mystery. We are just reproducing the idea of Assimil. Assimil is the basis of that. And then, as you have just learned the language using the same principle, the same idea, but you haven't learned the grammar, now maybe you can buy their books because it uses the same principle. By the way, Assimil is not one of the sponsors. I'm really telling about that because I really love this method. And so, maybe imagine you have learned Latin and you have mastered it quite a little bit because you have a lot of vocabulary, but now you really think that, wow, okay, I can speak some things, I can read, I can understand, but it's missing grammar. How can I learn grammar using a method that is almost effortlessly? Use Assimil to complement that. Why not? Or you can buy any other grammar book if you want. Okay, but now you say, okay, Jimmy, I have finished that, or I'm not really interested on the Little Prince. Okay, doesn't matter. Do you like Harry Potter? Okay, use Harry Potter. Harry Potter probably will be the next famous book that will be translated in many languages. I am not a collector of Harry Potter yet, but maybe I will, because I love Harry Potter as well. But Harry Potter is a little bit deeper. Maybe if you have mastered this technique on how to learn using a single book, an easy book, that's The Little Prince. You can apply it for Harry Potter using the 6 or 7, not sure, I forgot how many books are there on Harry Potter. Okay, you can use that and you can reproduce the same thing. You buy the book on your mother tongue and then you buy it on your target language. For this we have Amazon. Nowadays it's very easy. Huh? And you can do it, you can go beyond. For example, as I said before, you can use the Holy Bible. Oh, okay. Many people, maybe you have heard that the Bible, as I said, even if you don't say, okay, I don't like religious things, doesn't matter. As I said, you can read the story of Adam and Eve as a myth. Doesn't matter. You can just read and have a good vocabulary. Yeah? Nowadays we have a lot of new versions. You can choose among, okay, I'd like to learn the modern language, because you know the Holy Bible, if you take King James Version, it's a little bit old and old-fashioned words, but you have NVI, this new NIV, New International Version, that we have new and modern words, and we have also films about the Bible, so it's okay, it's very easy to find the whole Bible in films, and you have the Bible in audio. There is a very good app. Let me see if I find it here. The name is, this is the app. This is Castanhola, by the way. But this is the app. It's called Holy Bible. When you click on it, you can choose the version and you can listen to it and read it. Just a moment. Oh, my mobile phone is not quite nice, huh? But just a moment. Wait, while it is being charged. Okay. Yes, it's almost here. You can start with, let me try a story here. We can start with the basics. We can start with Genesis. Where is that? So we have a list of things and show that we have audios. So we have Genesis. We choose chapter 1, verse 1. And then we can ask the app to read. Yes, it's supposed to have it. I'm not sure what's happening here, but it has an audio. Where's the audio here? Oh, I will not take the time for that, but I'm sure that you can listen to it. Maybe my connection is not good here, but you can listen to it in a lot of languages. This app that is very easy and cheap, not cheap, it's free of charge. It's called Holy Bible. I will show it again. You can really use it. And as I said, maybe everybody knows how the Bible begins, like I would say my favorite book, that is the Gospel of, just a moment, St. John. Okay. If you take it, everybody knows that it said that, I forgot it in English, that at the beginning it was the Word, and the Word was with God. And so you can say it is the same. This one is in French. So you say, au commencement était le Verbe, et le Verbe était auprès de Dieu, et le Verbe était Dieu. Il était au commencement auprès de Dieu. Tout fut par lui, et sans lui, rien ne fut. Ah, as I know what is happening here, it's very easy to carry on reading, and I can go to my mother tongue's version, and I can check it out and do exactly the same. Here in Portuguese, it says, no princípio era o verbo, e o verbo estava com Deus. E o verbo era Deus, ele estava no princípio. Todas as coisas foram feitas por intermédio dele, e sem ele, nada do que foi se fez. So we have again the same principle of assimil. We have from one side the book in one language and the second one on the other language. So what we are doing, the same principle that my favorite publisher used. Text from one side and text to the other side. And so, as you can see, there are a lot of things, and including the Bible, you can use it. You can take, as I said, Bible doesn't mean holy. Bible means library. Maybe you want to read the story of Jonathan, Joshua. I don't know. Who cares? If you are religious, perfect. If you are religious and you are learning French, if you are going to the service or to the mass, instead of, the mass don't use it a lot, but if you are going to the service, instead of taking the Holy Bible on your mother tongue, why don't you take it in the target language? Imagine that you are learning French and you go to the service every Sunday, every Thursday, I don't know. You can take it. This one is the original one, La Bible de Jerusalem. And so when the priest says, open your books please on, let's see, on the famous one, on Psalm number, what's the famous one? It's 91. Okay. Okay, we have it, and so the priest, the pastor, will read there, and so while he's reading there in your target language, in your mother tongue, you can follow it. Qui habite les secrets de Lion passe la nuit à l'ombre des Shaddai, disant à Yahvé, mon abri, ma forteresse, mon Dieu sur qui je compte. Well, so the priest can help you to learn that. So if you are religious, perfect. Take the service. Otherwise, learn by yourself. Just one small tip. Even if you are not religious, the Proverbs of King Solomon, it's very, very interesting. Even if you don't believe that this was inspired by God, you can learn a lot of things, a lot of popular sayings that we use in our days, including nowadays, has come from the books of Proverbs. And so you can learn through it. As you can see, and while doing that, imagine that you have today the sermon of the priest was about, I don't know, doesn't matter. It was about, as I said, John chapter 1:1. And so the priest has said a lot of things about that. And so now you are ready to get into the chapter and learn more, get deeper, and learn a lot of vocabulary. Just using that. So the technique is very easy. I just mentioned the two books. As I mentioned, that they are the books that are very easy to find. Why did I skip Don Quixote of Miguel de Cervantes? That's the second one. Don Quixote, it's a very hard book to read. They have some modern translations, but it's a very big book. I'm not really fan of it. It doesn't follow logical sequence, and so maybe you cannot read that book in a couple of hours, as you can do with The Little Prince. But say, nada can I read the Bible. Yes, you can do, because the Bible is not one book; it's a collection of books. So maybe you can do this. You can take one book. You can take John, and you can read the book of John, and that's a book. And then you can work with the book of John. So usually, if the book is very small, it should be easier for you to work on it. So what you need is, as I said, the Little Prince, the Bible, you have a lot of films, and you can watch those films in a target language. Maybe you can find it on Amazon if you have just watched the Gospel according to John. There are, just to be aware, it's possible to find the three. The Gospel according to John, according to Luke, and according to John, Luke, it's missing one, Matthew. Yeah? You can watch the film about that, and so probably if you write a friend of yours that lives in a country, or you can watch them on YouTube. I'm sure that they are available. I'm sure it's available in English, in Portuguese, and I'm sure in Spanish. I'm not sure about other languages, but you can browse and check it out. It's for free. Other thing is that people are very happy to give you the Bible to you. In the Polyglot gathering, I received the Bible in Polish. He gave me, thinking that he would offend me because I have written the Bible of the language learners and polyglot. The man said, "This is the real Bible!" And he gave me the New Testament in Polish. And said, "Wow, I'm very happy because I didn't have the Holy Bible in Polish. And now I can practice my Polish reading the Bible." Fantastic. He didn't know, but I did not mention his name here. I did not give him any propaganda or advertisement, but thank you so much. You know who I am talking to. I was very happy to have the New Testament in Polish. And so you can use that. It doesn't matter if you are religious or not, use books. They are very useful for that. And so, those books that I have just mentioned, you can listen to the audio. Unfortunately, my cell phone is not very fast because I'm using the connection at the same time, but you can listen it on modern Greek, you can listen to it on ancient Greek, in Koine. You can listen to it, it's there, it's available for free. It's fantastic. And the Little Prince is the same. I have, before giving this presentation, I have checked it out on Amazon. You can find the Little Prince in Italian, French, Dutch, and other languages, for sure in German as well, French for sure. And you can find on internet as well. I'm not sure where you live, if it is copyrighted or not. This will depend on the country, but even if it's not, you can go to Audible. Audible is a company that belongs to Amazon, but they produce audiobooks, and so you can go to audible.de. I guess you can find the Little Prince, the Kleiner Prinz in German. Amazon. I'm not sure if they have in Italy. I'm not sure, but you can check it out. But even if you don't have, I'm almost sure that Amazon.com, you can find it in Italy. And so there are a lot of resources. And this is how you can learn a language just by using the Little Prince. As you can see, it's almost effortlessly. You just need a book that costs $10 or $20 or euro. This will be about, in Brazil it's not very cheap. I bought this small book because generally I have a lot of them and I like to underline some parts. I think I bought it for $5, it was very cheap, but there are a lot of versions of it. I have a large collection of it. By the way, if you want to give me a gift, I will be very happy to receive your book. If you are from wherever you are, the next time I see you in person, I'll be very happy to receive a present of the Little Prince, or the Bible as well, in your mother tongue. I'm not sure if you have any questions about that. Let me just see it here. If you have any questions, let me see if I can read them out. I guess I have just said what I would like to say, but just a moment, please. Okay, just give me a moment. I will check with a friend of mine if he can read the question, because I can't read that. Tem pergunta pra mim aí? Se você quer assistir? Não? Sorry about that. Okay, I'm not sure if you have questions. I can't see any questions here. Not sure. Okay, we have a lot of comments here. Let me try to find the comments. Not sure. It's not opening. My internet's not. Wait a minute. Wait. Just wait. You can write it. Let me just see if I can see it from here. No, I can't. Oh my goodness. Let me just try something else here, because we have two connections here. Let me try it with the 3G and 4G. Maybe I will be able to read it. Just a moment. If I have seen that there are 19 comments, but I can't see them all. Sorry about that. Gosh, just a moment. Yes, from here I cannot see anything. Still opening, still opening. Okay, as I cannot see the questions yet, I will finish this this talk. I will keep it recorded. Then I will be back in a while, and I will see the questions and I will answer all of them. It's okay? So thank you for watching. We still have one presentation today, the last one, and I will be very happy to have. I'm really happy. This was the first online polyglot event that has ever happened. Many people thought it was a joke. I don't really understand why. But if it was a joke, this joke really worked quite well, because this conference was an absolutely success. We have a lot of speeches that we had over 500 people, and this number is growing. And as I like to say, sorry for the comparison, but people said that Donald Trump was a joke, and now he is the most powerful joke in the world. Some people said that the Polyglot Congress would be a joke. Maybe we are a joke, but the largest audience joke in the entire polyglot community. Thank you for watching. I'll be back to answer your questions. Thank you for being here.